This one's all right. Yeah, perfect. We're testing pulsators this morning.
The silver one's working perfect.
The silver one's working?
Yeah, perfect.
Well, that's weird.
That was okay.
That one's fine.
Which is the one you think?
That second one over there, that one sounds funny to me. That one.
Let me see. Yeah.
Something going on with that one. That's probably the one that was weird last night. Welcome back, everybody. You join us for nighttime milking. If you're new to these videos, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy them and come back for more. I'm Taylor and I work on a dairy farm in Maine with my boss Brent. We milk about 70 cows in a tie stall barn, which is kind of outdated nowadays, I guess people would say. I personally love it a lot more than the more current parlors and everything. I've worked in a parlor before and I like it this way a lot better. So if you like watching small farming videos, fixing equipment, cows, lots of cows because I love cows, and just everything that you can imagine that goes along with farm life, if you enjoy that, don't forget to subscribe. We'd love to have you guys. So I'm actually alone tonight. Brent is at an appointment for his eye. You guys have been asking about that. So he had, if you're new here, he had a detached retina and he went in to get surgery on that, and they had to laser his other eye because his other eye was apparently coming unattached. So they fixed his other eye and then they had surgery done on his eye that had the detached retina. I don't know if I'm pointing at the right sides. I'm just pointing. I talk with my hands. I can't remember which one it is. Let me see. I believe his left one is the one that he had a detached retina in. So he's gone. So it's sounded like there's somebody here. So it's been about 4 months, October, November, December, January, almost February, yeah. So it's been almost 4 months. Apparently when you have a detached retina, they put some sort of oil behind your eye to hold the retina in place while it heals. And they're checking to see if they can take that off today. I don't think they're gonna do it today, even if it is ready to take it off. I think they're probably gonna have to schedule surgery and then do it then, but I'm not really sure. I haven't heard from him today, so I don't know. But that means I'm alone tonight, at least for a little while. He should be back anytime. I think his appointment was like 2, and it is 3:50 right now. I got here at 3:45. So I've got a few things to do. I did clean the floor this morning. There was a few things that I wanted to show you. So we cleaned our whole area with the tools and everything. You guys know we have a toolbox. One of you mentioned that it was a little strange that we had a toolbox in the milk room because we might get in trouble with that for inspections and stuff. We actually told the person that always does our inspections that we were gonna put a toolbox in here, and she said that was fine. She would just mark it on the thing as there being tools in the milk room, so they wouldn't mark it down as a problem. So that's why we don't get in trouble. We actually asked about it and they said it was fine. So Brent had this little drawer here and he put all of our power tools in it because we've been having trouble with keeping these warm enough to use them. The last time I went to grab the impact wrench, the batteries were too cold to charge, so we put them in here now, and that makes it a lot easier. We also have some gifts from some of you guys. Sent us these pecans and some cashews. I think they're from different people. These are delicious. Both of them are delicious. I love cashews and I love pecans, especially when they're covered in sugar. So we've been enjoying those as a little snack with our coffee, which I am only drinking like 1 cup of coffee a day now. Like, I don't even believe it myself, but I had to cut back big time because I didn't really feel good. It was making me real anxious. So we're having tea now. So I'm a tea drinker now. I have afternoon coffee, and every other time we have a coffee break, it's tea. So I actually like it. I feel a lot better. It wakes me up, not as quickly, but I do feel a little bit better. So the girls can hear me talking and they are like, what gives? How come you're not out here feeding us? So the first thing that I have to do, since I'm alone, I'm gonna go out and break open the ice in the heifer tank and start that to see if it runs. Yesterday it did, which was surprising because yesterday morning was 12 below and the water didn't freeze. Another thing a lot of you guys were asking was why don't we have heat wire on the tank that goes outside to keep it from freezing? We do. It has heat wire along the whole wire and even down into the water tank, and it still freezes. It just gets too cold around here for the heat wire to even keep up with it. but it has to be like 15 below with a little bit of a breeze in order for that to freeze. So it keeps it pretty good, but the main temperatures are just a little bit extreme, so can't really be avoided. But I put my jacket on. What's that? Nothing makes me more mad than when you go put on a jacket and like the sleeve rolls up inside. No, I hate that. There's a paint stick. Apparently I've been carrying around a paint stick for a while. So let's go break open that water, get all the cows wound up on our way. Because, oh my goodness, somebody's sleeping. You just sleeping? She said, yeah. I already carried the feeder down here, so I just have to get, they're waiting, just have to get their milk, feed the cows their grain, and then load a bale, which I kind of hope Brent's back for that part because I can do it, but I'm not really good at it. So the first thing we do is we come in here, turn on this. See, you guys can see the heat wire right here. Turn on this. I just turned it back off. Me and my dyslexic mind. And then proof of how cold it is. We only had a high of 10 degrees today with the wind blowing, so it's pretty cold. Then I grabbed these gloves that I keep down here. They are frozen solid, but they're real leather. So I usually use these to scoop the ice out of the tank because you don't get your hands wet. All right, hello heifer. Now we just gotta jump up and down on the ice tank as hard as we possibly can. Looks like they're gonna need a hay bale tomorrow morning. Yep, frozen solid. Say that it is frozen today, which isn't surprising because it's pretty windy. But we'll at least have enough water to drink for now. I'll thaw it out later. Nobody's even coming over anyway, so they're not thirsty. There. I'm gonna move this feeder because I gotta go through here. Another thing that we did to make life a lot easier for us, also ignore all the junk right there. It's been so cold we haven't been making trips to the dumpster. We'll clean it up soon, I promise. As soon as it stinking warms up around here. So we had a water pipe running from that water in there, which is the barn water that comes from the frog pond. We had it running into the gutter to keep the water from freezing because if water's moving, it doesn't freeze. And sometimes at night the cows don't drink enough because they're not up, and obviously a lot of them aren't awake, so they're not drinking enough to keep that pumping. So we had a water pipe, just a really small one, running into the gutter. But it was constantly making a mess right here. It would get pulled back and it would leak, and it was muddy here and just completely nasty. So we cleaned all that up, and what we ended up doing was there's water running over here to go outside anyway. So we just hooked onto that because it really doesn't matter where your water's coming from. This is all the same barn water. Ran a hose over here, down this pole, and into the gutter, and that just trickles like that all the time, and that has 100% solved our problems. So that was Brent's idea. A really good one because in these last couple of days it definitely would have frozen. That sun feels amazing. We're supposed to have a day here coming up that's going to be in the 30s, and I'm telling you, I might be out sunbathing. It's going to feel so good. I know. So bossy around here, you guys. Woo. Next we got to roll this tarp up. I need to step still for my shoulder. There. Now I think I'm gonna cornmeal them first. Grain them. I always say cornmeal, but it is grain now, or partly grain, because they're all really wound up. So I'm gonna go outside and do that. Some of you guys have been asking. I think I've already said that like 5 times, so this is like an answering all you guys' question kind of video. You guys have been asking why the cornmeal is in the bin outside. So when we were blowing it upstairs, since it's all mash, which means it's just dust, it's getting blown everywhere upstairs because that's not an airtight bin, it's for pellets. So there was dust everywhere. There's like 6 inches of dust on top of the floor around the bin, and we were just worried that it was gonna start rotting things out. Had that problem before. I'll insert some pictures for you guys of the barn when we were getting it fixed, because this whole beam up here that runs along the front of the barn was completely rotten, and this whole wall was rotten, so we had to have everything fixed because the grain had gotten in there and rotted everything out. So we didn't want that to happen again, so we've just been using the bin outside. It's really not a big deal. I just go out there. The worst part is pulling the cart back inside. That really is the worst part. I don't mind doing it, so anyway, that's what I have to do right now, so. We're halfway there. I usually put 8 in this and then I carry 2. So 10 pails will do the whole barn because we feed them twice a day, so we feed them a little bit less than when we used to feed them once a day, obviously. And if you guys are wondering why I haven't cleaned up around here, I have, but the wind blows 1,000 miles an hour around here all the time. So it just blows it all back in, and I finally give up. I don't care anymore. There, that was my second pail. Literally took like 4 minutes. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is like the favorite part of their day. So now we're done with grain. Next thing we're gonna do is bring in sawdust. Brent's still not back, so looks like putting on the bale might be my job, so should be interesting. However, sawdust I can handle.
I just went and moved the bale unroller to in front of the door, and I basically got one shot at this, or things are going to get real hard if I roll the bale over. So first we got to figure out which way it's going. So it's my lucky day, and this one is right for me to pick it up from behind it, which is going to make it a lot easier with that other bale there. Whatever you do, please don't make fun of me. This is going to be bad. Don't say I didn't warn you. Cross your fingers, say a little prayer. Catch up to you guys later.
Another snack that one of you guys sent to us and have gotten me addicted on, because I've never had them before, is some roasted salted pumpkin seeds. I love these. Never had them before. I'm hooked on them. I have to hide them for myself. Actually, I'm gonna get the cow's milk going while I do this. Make sure this water is hot. And I'm gonna add a little bit of like regular milk to it. Now, I am not going to carry these machines back down. Ooh, we'll just get water right down my sleeve. Until we're ready to go, because you saw this morning that we were checking pulsators. If they're really, really cold, I guess that's just what it was last night. They were super cold, so they weren't working very well. We thought a couple of them needed to be blown out, but it was just that it was cold, so we just got to carry them down and then immediately put them off the fuse on the side. I'm not going to carry them down until I'm ready to start milking. So this milk buzzer doesn't come with a cup, so I just use this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And nice. Well, I do that every time, and I absolutely hate the noise it makes. Go give this to them. I should have done this before I went around with the bale because it's easier to carry this. But I didn't think about that. Actually, it's not too bad because I parked the bale and roller on the other side. Usually I have to go around it, and that's the hard part. I'm really quiet. Alright, so that was interesting. Couldn't show you guys because they're being annoying. Especially this one, who has decided she doesn't want to eat off the gang feeder anymore. It doesn't matter how much I try to get her to do it. She's old enough to be weaned, so I was kind of hoping she'd just wean herself, but it seems like she's rather stuck on being a turd. Go! Blood warning. Look away if you don't like blood. Okay, so apparently the calf that I was trying to help onto the nipple, she bit me. I don't even feel it. It's so cold. Okay, I'm officially ready to start milking. I got all my pulsators plugged in. I just started the, I'm blanking out. Space heater. I started the space heater for the water out back. I wanted to show you guys an update on the sick cow I mentioned in the last video if you've been watching for a while. This is her, so she's one of our fresh Guernseys. So it turns out it 100% was not ketosis. I think she did have a touch of ketosis for not eating for a couple days, which makes sense. So the little bit of propylene that I gave her cleared that up. And she has started eating again. We noticed 2 days ago that she had really, really bad diarrhea, so I'm guessing that she just had, Brent's back, some sort of barn dysentery or something like that. So she's doing a lot better now, and we can milk her in tonight. So speaking of, let's get going. So I'm home, obviously. Brent showed up just as I started milking, so I didn't have to do any of the milking alone. I'm trying to finish editing this video that you guys are watching right now, and I've fallen asleep like 3 times while I was editing it, and it is 8:29. How pathetic is that? So I'm gonna try to stay awake long enough to edit this for you guys. But Brent has a couple things he wants to update you guys on about his eye, but he wants to tell you that, so we're gonna wait until the next video to do that, which should be an interesting video. I'm really excited for it because I asked you some questions in a post, and you guys have been sending in some really good ones. I'm really excited to answer those, but for now, it's goodbye. So if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and comment down below. Keep it real, keep farming, get some sleep. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll see you guys in the next video.